You're on, Beth. Far away.
Yeah. I will say that Harry has nothing to apologize for. When they were here, they were so popular. And then they came back from Australia, and everybody wanted Harry and Meghan. Nobody wanted William and Kate.
Yes.
And then the palace got worried, and then they started to make deal with the press. And one of them that come out and say that is Anna something, I can't remember. But she said basically make deal with the press. You can write what you want about Harry and Meghan and lay off William and Kate. They're only the good news.
Well, I think that's probably true. Yeah.
Harry had done more work than William ever, and it's just the press who hasn't reported
Claudia,
it.
quickly, can you reply to this?
No.
The studio lights hit the table just right that morning on Jeremy Vine, when the topic flashed across the screen. Would you welcome Harry and Meghan back to the UK? The moment those words appeared, you could almost sense the tension thickening in the room. The debate hadn't even begun, but everyone knew this one would ignite. Because whenever Harry and Meghan Sussex's names come up, it's never just a royal discussion. It's a reflection of who people choose to be, fair or bitter, open-hearted or vindictive. As the phone lines opened, one furious caller's voice burst through, practically shaking with indignation. She said Harry has nothing to come back to, scoffing as if the Duke of Sussex had somehow forfeited his right to peace and belonging. Her words dripped with resentment, the kind of misplaced anger that's been fed by years of tabloid venom. But just as the tension started to peak, another voice, calm, confident, powerful, cut through the noise. Her name was Beth, and she wasn't having any of it. Beth's tone wasn't angry. It was steady, dignified, but filled with emotion. She reminded everyone that when Harry and Meghan were in the UK, they were loved. Crowds lined the streets. The media couldn't get enough of them. They brought fresh air into a dusty old institution. Harry and Meghan represented modern royalty, approachable, compassionate, and actually human. Beth said what many have been too afraid to say out loud. The problem was never Harry and Meghan. The problem was the jealousy they inspired inside the palace walls. And that's where Beth's point hit hard. Because history shows that the royal family has never handled popularity outside the firm very well. Diana lived it. Meghan lived it. The establishment likes control, and the Sussexes refuse to be controlled. Beth pointed out that when Harry and Meghan began shining on the global stage, some couldn't handle it. Instead of celebrating their success, the palace and the press tried to dim their light. That's not loyalty. That's sabotage. Jeremy Vine, normally ready with a comeback, just sat there stunned. Because, Beth wasn't speaking out of blind fandom. She was speaking truth. When she said, everybody loved Harry and Meghan, but nobody wanted Kate and William, the studio fell silent. Not because it was harsh, but because deep down, people knew there was truth behind those words. When Harry and Meghan walked into a room, they brought energy. They connected with people. They cared. That's what made them dangerous to the royal machinery. Not scandal, not drama, but authenticity. Now let's get real. Harry and Meghan aren't coming back to the UK, and honestly, they shouldn't. Because Montecito isn't just a place for them. It's freedom, peace, and healing wrapped in sunshine. After years of being hunted by tabloids, misrepresented, and betrayed by their own institution, they finally found what they were always searching for. A life that's theirs. Harry has openly said in interviews that moving to California wasn't about running away. It was about running towards something better. He wanted his children, Archie and Lilibet, to grow up without the same emotional suffocation he endured. He wanted Meghan to feel safe, to thrive, to be more than just a royal accessory. And together, they've built exactly that. Their life in Montecito is calm, purpose-driven, surrounded by genuine friends and family who don't sell them out for headlines. Critics called it Megxit, but the truth is, it was survival. The British press twisted that narrative into betrayal, when in reality, it was liberation. Imagine enduring a smear campaign so coordinated that it targeted your race, your motherhood, your mental health, and still being expected to smile for cameras that despise you. That's what Meghan faced. And Harry, watching history repeat itself, seeing his wife suffer as his mother once did, decided he'd rather break royal tradition than break his family's spirit. Beth's defense on Jeremy Vine wasn't just about liking Harry and Meghan. It was about acknowledging that the hate they faced was never deserved. She was reminding the audience that once upon a time, Britain adored Harry, the soldier, the humanitarian, the man who made kids laugh in hospitals and comforted wounded veterans. That same Harry didn't suddenly change overnight. What changed was the system's attitude toward him once he started protecting Meghan. And Meghan, the same woman who was applauded for her grace and empathy on Suits, who gave impassioned speeches about women's empowerment long before meeting Harry, didn't transform into a villain the day she wore a tiara. She became a threat to the old order because she had a voice, and worse for them, she used it. Megxit wasn't abandonment. It was, well, evolution. The Sussexes didn't quit being royal, they redefined it. If you look at their work in the United States, from the Archewell Foundation to their Netflix documentaries, from mental health initiatives to disaster relief efforts, they're honestly doing what the royal family should have been doing all along, showing up with empathy, not entitlement. Meanwhile, the same media that once called them lazy now tries to dismiss their success as attention-seeking. It's pure hypocrisy, isn't it? These are two people who chose service over status. They don't need palaces to make an impact. They've proven they can inspire millions from anywhere in the world. So when people ask, would you welcome Harry and Meghan back? The answer isn't about permission, it's about perspective. Why would they return to a place that punished them for being human when they've already built a life filled with authenticity and love? Montecito isn't exile, it's victory. Beth's words struck a nerve because they reminded viewers that kindness, once shown to Harry and Meghan, was replaced with cruelty the moment they stepped out of line with royal expectation. But here's the truth. They didn't step out of line. They redrew it. They set boundaries. They said no to abuse, no to manipulation, and yes to mental health, family, and peace. And that's what true strength looks like. Harry and Meghan didn't lose the crown. They outgrew it. They traded royal duty for real happiness. They traded tabloid drama for creative purpose. And they traded an institution that silenced them for a platform that amplifies compassion. So Beth wasn't just defending Harry and Meghan, she was defending integrity. She reminded everyone watching that love should never be punished, that walking away from toxicity isn't weakness, it's wisdom. And as Jeremy Vine sat there speechless, maybe even a bit humbled, the message was clear. Harry and Meghan don't need to be welcomed back to the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom needs to reckon with why they ever drove them away. Because from Montecito to the world, the Sussexes have proven that when you choose peace over power, you don't lose, you win.